Well, hello. It's time for another exciting episode of Pens in Use. This is the show where I talk about the fountain pens and inks I've been using throughout the past few weeks. So, let's dive into it. If videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And I've just got a mishmash of topics, so feel free to talk about anything. So for now, let's take a look at some pens. Alright, so I'm back! So these are the pens I've been using this week. This one I actually just inked up this week. Well, two of these I did. So this week I have the Diplomat Era, the Caveco Dia2, the Omas Ojiva, the Cora, Parker Duofold International, Waterman Hemisphere, Pilot Custom 823, Centropen 10014, Visconti Homo Sapiens, and a Lamy 2000. As always, I will be doing the writing samples in my Cognitive Surplus notebook. So I'm still using the camera that I use for live streaming. It's not bad, but it's not exactly great quality. But it's what I have. I have to fix the battery situation on the camcorder. I just haven't done it yet. So the lighting, let's see if we can improve it just a tiny bit. Oh gosh, let's try this. Okay, not amazing, but we'll just live with it. So this is the Diplomat Era with the fire polished steel finish. So they just torched the steel basically to make that. Very fetching torpedo type of shape. And if you're into that kind of thing, it does look a little weird when it's uncapped. But anyway, Diplomat Era. Aero. And I have a broad nib in it, which is, of course, a Yovo nib. And then the ink in it is Noodlers. Matahari's Cordial. Which I've always thought is a nice dusky kind of purple. But of course with Noodlers inks, your mileage may vary because there's sometimes variation between the batches of ink. So I'm scared for what I will discover when this particular bottle runs out. But I have enjoyed this bottle for several years now. I just love that color. My next pen has a very similar color. This is the Caveco Dia2. Kind of Caveco's top of the line. I shouldn't call it top of the line. If you've ever watched ODE's channel, he has the sterling silver Caveco Sport. Definitely a much more expensive pen than this one. So this is a Caveco Diet 2. Now, the fun thing with the ink, it sure looks a lot alike. A little pinker, I think. But this is Atramentis. Apple Blossom. Which smells vaguely flowery, but not too much like apple blossoms. But a lot of flavors, natural flavors and smells are hard to capture in chemistry. Some of them are very impressive. Like I have done a lab where you make wintergreen. Not to eat, but to smell. And it's very cool. It smells like wintergreen. Or at least like wintergreen toothpaste, I should add. As to the real wintergreen, who knows? This is the Omas Ojiva pen by a company that went out of business, but apparently the name may be coming back. So, I guess look forward to that. I don't care too much about the name. I care more about the fun nib and feed that it comes with. So this is an Omas Ojiva. I think it was the cocktail. It's a medium extra flaccid belay nib. And the ink in it is Iroshizuku. Make sure I get the name right here. Kiri-same, I think. Yep, Kiri-same. So, it's an okay gray. It's nothing special. So I'm going to go out of order for what I promised and what's in the video description, because I just decided I want to compare the other gray. So I mentioned, or maybe I will mention, because I filmed the talking part first. Usually I film the pens first, but went the other order this time. And I mentioned that, you know, when this pen, this Pilot Custom 823 runs out of this Fuyu-syogun, that'll be it. But I very much enjoyed this ink. I've enjoyed the heck out of this bottle. So this is a Pilot Custom 823. And I think you can see why I like this gray. It's kind of more of a blue gray. Just very attractive. So this ink is Iroshizuku. Fuyu. Darn, I thought I'd fit it on one line. Syogun. To be a little fair, I think this ink in this Omas Ojiva is starting to dry out, because the color is a little darker than it should be. Let's see if I was using it the last time. Nope. Alrighty then. Oh, I guess you'd probably like me to do a swatch. I got so sidetracked there. I saw something here that confused me, because I said, wait, I've got Diamine Damson in a pen right now, and it's not a Lamy 2000. Oh, yeah. So I used up this bottle of ink basically by just refilling this pen until the ink was used up. And now I'm kind of sad to see it go, because I really enjoyed this ink. That's just a very nice color of gray. Okay, back to our regular programming, the order. Next I had this Cora, a nice 1950s Dutch pen, which definitely is due for a revisit, probably after I fix my camera situation. Yeah, I got room to write here, so we'll go Cora with Diamine Damson. Kind of a short pen. This is almost one I want to post, because it's at a more appropriate length then. What makes me love this pen is the nib is just so expressive. You know, it's a branded nib, but I strongly suspect it's actually one of those vintage Bach nibs that I've always said are so wonderful. And it shows off this ink, which in some pens just does not show off very well. So during my few weeks of hiatus, oh, that's an interesting effect. I see stripes on the preview. I will be curious to see if they're there during the video. But anyway, this pen is flippin' gorgeous. This is a a Parker Duofold, the International, and it's with the citrine finish. And this ink is no longer with me, even though I had almost a full bottle. Because I had it sitting down, knocked it over, the cap cracked, and the ink all glugged out onto the floor. And I had to very quickly wipe it up before I stained my floor. But I love this ink. It's Noodler's Ottoman Rose. So somewhere I should be writing this down, that I like the Fuyu-syogun and I like this color. And I'd like to have them as part of my collection again. Because will I remember by the time I get this collection down? Doubtful. And I'll end up in the same situation as I try different inks. But I just think this is a very attractive color. I'm not particularly a fan of red inks, but that's one I like. My next pen has a very red ink in it, and it's a blue pen. You have always seen this pen with Bay State blue in it. I cleaned it out very thoroughly and then gave it a extra bleach bath. And right now it's on its second or third fill of Noodler's Rattler Eel Red, sorry, because I'm trying to reduce the staining inside the converter. Rattler Eel Red seems to do a decent job removing stains. So I may fill it up one more time with the Rattler Eel Red, then clean it out and see where we're at. So this is a Waterman Hemisphere. Very slim pen, very well made pen. You can feel the quality with this pen. Mine is a fine point, and that's definitely a fine. One of the other pens that's going to appear here in a few minutes with claims to be a fine is definitely not this. So the ink in it is, of course, Noodler's Rattler Eel Red. So it is very, it's a very red. You know, not a color, like I said, that I go for. People might say, well, you're a teacher, you can use it for correcting. I usually do my correcting with black ink. Weird, maybe, but that's how I roll. There's been a lot of studies that talk about the impact of red ink, and I just thought, well, if it's the color of the ink that's getting in the way, just change the color of the ink. No big deal. Some people are like, oh, baby, don't say that. You like just threaten to take away their child or something. Topic for another video. So this is a Centropen 10014 with an absolutely stunning celluloid finish. And this is another one I have been refilling, and I've almost used up the bottle. The ink in it is Iroshizuku Yama-guri. It's a brown. It's not a brown I like. It's not a particularly attractive brown. And I very rarely like brown inks anyway. This one I just have taken kind of a visceral dislike to. But the bottle's almost empty, so you know, if I have an accident with it in the sink, that would be just a shame. Just don't expect to see that ink next week because the pen's almost empty. And there's not a lot of ink left anyway. Okay, my second to last pen is a medium nib. This is a Visconti Homo Sapiens. Definitely due for a revisit. I have a few good things to say about it and a few things. So I think, you know, I've got writing footage for a few more videos. I just need to film the talking part. So I think I'll do that, and hopefully by then I've got my battery situation with the other camera figured out. 'Cause I can't use the other camera right now at all. But very nice pen made from the ash of Mount Etna, or rock of Mount Etna or something. Anyway, Visconti. This ink is used up fully. I kind of doubt it will still be inked next week, because now that I'm not saving the last dregs of ink in it for a video, look how it looks. That's beautiful shading. I'm definitely gonna miss this ink when it's gone. I won't say for sure if it's one I want to replace. We'll try that on the next line. Wow. Iroshizuku. Because I have several more in this color family that I'll be using. A Lamy, a Monteverde, and a Aurora and Klingner. So yeah, it's gonna be a while. And like I said, I like all of them also. So who knows what I'll do in however many years it is till I'm ready to start buying ink again. Oops. My preview just shut off. I hope I'm still recording or I'm going to feel really silly. Okay, I think I'm still recording. And my last pen, my Daily Raider pen. We'll just snork this puppy up here. My Daily Raider pen. This goes with me in my pocket every day. My beautiful Lamy 2000. Just a very modern looking pen. So this has a fine nib on it, and the ink, of course, is Aurora Black. Because, yeah, once I got home, I cleaned out the Noodler's hard... Oh, I got a story to tell you about this ink here, so you'll have to wait till the talking part, but... Yeah, this pen has had Aurora Black in it, and a Mystery Black, and Noodler's Dark Matter in it, all at different times this week. Alright, so those are the pens and inks I've been using for the past few weeks. Some of them are repeats from August, and that's not because I haven't been using them, it's because I've refilled them. I am really close to using up that Yama-guri, and I did use up that Ama-iro, and I'm really close to using up that Fuyu-syogun. So, yeah, I just kept refilling, and I'm enjoying that Fuyu-syogun, so definitely when that runs out, I have to remember that name, so I buy a bottle when I run through my grays. So, on that note, I do a pen pal thing. I have several pen pals, more than I've been able to keep up with lately, but number of pen pals. And on that note, of course, Queen Elizabeth recently passed away in the United Kingdom. It turns out she had a pen pal in North Dakota, a woman who started writing to her 70 years ago in, 1953 or 52? I can't remember the exact year, but anyway, on eve of her coronation, this woman from North Dakota has been a pen pal. Apparently just a once-a-year pen pal thing, but the woman lives in Park River, North Dakota, which I've got some driving footage. I'm kind of going up eastern North Dakota that will be coming soon. I've got one more in my Good Books series, and then we're going to start traveling up eastern North Dakota, and one of the towns we'll go through is Park River, so I'll try to remember that when we go through Park River. It's not much, don't expect something amazing, but still, it's very cool that they kept up this correspondence for 70 years. So I don't know if I'll last that long with my pen pals. So another interesting thing that happened this week, I don't have it here because I moved my pens back over there, but my Lamy 2000, during this week, I ran out of ink. And I thought, that's okay, that's why I carry my Visconti ink pot. Oh, except for that day. So weirdly enough, I do have fountain pen ink in my room. So I had a bottle that was in an old Edelstein bottle. So I tried inking that up. It was super feathery, uselessly feathery. Then I found some Noodler's dark matter in my desk, so I inked it up with that, and it was okay. But I like my well, Parker Quink Black. I like my Pelican 4001 Brilliant Black. I like my Lamy Black. So I can't wait to get back to them. I'm going to work on using up my black ink. So right now we're working through Aurora Black, and we'll get there. But it was just a good reminder, and it also made me think, I might be going through some black inks that I don't like so well, and what do I do then? We'll see. The super feathery one went down the sink. I don't even know what it was because it was in a different bottle from what it came from. So I mentioned driving videos, so I finished up the book series on the Iron Mountain Highway. I was hoping that the dash cam would capture where you go through the tunnels on the Iron Mountain Highway, and then they open with a view to Mount Rushmore. I know it's Mount Rushmore because I was there. But what a short focal length does, if you're into photography, is it makes everything seem farther away. So Mount Rushmore is so ridiculously far away on that dash cam that, oh, look, there's rocks over there. So that wasn't that impressive. I was very disappointed. I mean, in real life it was cool, but, on the video I was very disappointed. That's one of the things with the dash cam. North Dakota is flat, but it's not as flat as that dash cam makes it look. So I guess the other big piece of news, so I'm going to leave that, and I have a new series, or not series, but a new video that I also filmed that's about small schools in North Dakota, and I specifically look at a few that have either closed or are very close to closing. And I don't know, I was tired when I filmed it. I can hear that in my voice, but at the same time I'm kind of happy with how it turned out. So I look forward to sharing those. The last book one will appear this Sunday, and the other one, I don't know, some Sunday after that. I want to get ahead on videos again. Book reviews coming. I've got a couple interesting ones coming. One's written. I've written a few, I guess. Just haven't filmed them. And, of course, more pen stuff. I've got either writing samples or I guess just writing samples filmed. I have a lot of writing samples filmed, so I just need to sit down and film more talky parts. And on that note, we have missed pens in use the last few weeks. I had some busy weeks. I'm taking a class which is eating up more of my time than I expected. And then school just seems to eat up my time. It's amazing how that place eats up my time. And I've got a garden to take care of, a house I need to work on, and just time keeps on slipping away. But anyway, so I'm filming this on a night that I could be doing other things, but here I am. I wanted to do a pens in use a couple of weeks ago. There's more pens on the road. So I went up to Bismarck, the back way. Well, hello. I'm on the road today for another exciting episode of Pens in Use. This is the show where I talk about the fountain pens and inks I've been using throughout the week. Right now I'm on Highway 12, headed east. Eventually I should find my way to Bismarck, hopefully by 12 o'clock, so we'll see. So anyway, I almost forgot my line, so let's dive into it. It's several different highways, and I don't remember what all they're called, but it goes through some neat little small towns like Mott, trying to remember them all, Flasher, Elgin, the one that's by Elgin, whose name I'm forgetting, New Leipzig. Anyway, the parts that I filmed with my cheap portable camera, instead of on a tripod and all that, turned out very well. Exactly how I wanted them. there also wasn't the wind noise yet at that point in the day. The parts that I filmed with the dash cam, because, I was on the way to somewhere. I had a destination I had to be at by like 11 o'clock, so I couldn't stop for too long at any place. So I kind of cruised each place a little bit and thought, well, I'll use the dash cam footage to fill the rest of it in. Not so much. There is no dash cam footage whatsoever, and at first I thought something wrong with the dash cam. No, it's operator error. So somewhere along the line, I changed a setting in the dash cam, because it's supposed to, when the card is full, it just starts rewriting over the oldest stuff and works its way forward again. Nope. It just stopped recording, so I've got to change that setting back. And at that point, I'd spent all day on the road, and I thought, so I seriously have to film all of this in addition to the pens. And I was mad, and I said, no, not going to do it. And then I missed the next week too, just because I was busy. So, no pens in use for a while. I do plan to recreate that trip. I'm going to be able to take a full day driving to Bismarck, because I have a something coming up. We'll maybe surprise you with it, but it's a something. And I want to go up the day before, and I just thought, perfect. Because then I can stop, I can walk around these towns. Who knows, maybe I'll be feeling really ambitious, and I'll bring along the tripod and set up a camera and do some really good footage. And we'll just have to see. Another class that I'm taking may interfere with that plan, so no promises. But anyway, depending on the hours for that other class, maybe I can get it done. We'll just have to see. Hi! Future me editing the video. So I just happened to think, the other cool thing about this trip, I got my door handle fixed on my car. One of the door handles I've been dealing with since 2014, and after I got that one door handle fixed, I thought, why have I been so cheap for 8 years? This is like heaven. So I recorded a little bit of that. Unfortunately, I recorded part of it in front of the liquor store end of Family Mart up in Dickinson. Family Mart's a grocery store, but one end sells liquor, and I was standing right in front of the liquor store side, so I'm going to edit that part out, but you'll see the reflection in the side of my car. Ooh, you see that? So, until Friday, since 2014, all this has been broken off, and all I've had is just a little fragment right here that I could grab, enough to pull it out so I could get behind this back part of the handle. And that was February 2nd, 2014. How do I know? Because it was very cold that day, and I had to get back home in time to take some pictures. So I have the pictures to know exactly the day. So 2 weeks ago, I was up here in Dickinson, and something bad happened. I was at the grocery store, I yanked on this, and I heard a crack, and the door didn't open. So I had to reach around, open the back door, put my hand around, search for that little fragment of a door handle up here, and then pull it open. And if it was windy at all, I couldn't do it. You can tell the difference in age here. Yeah, you can also see the guy at the garage glued a broken piece back on, because that's what the rest of my locks look like. So I just asked to have the inside door handle replaced, but I guess he assumed I meant the whole thing. It's kind of paradise having an outside door handle and an inside door handle. It is like a totally different driving experience. But anyway, the last thing I have is going to eventually develop into a driving video. It's one that's going to take some time to assemble all the research. But I just wanted to point out that this is Banned Books Week here in the United States. So we're supposed to celebrate banned books. Not celebrate that they are being banned, but celebrate the books themselves. And book banning is In the news again, one of my links, the MSN link, actually lists the top 10 states for book banning. Yeah, okay, so it mentions that Texas in 2022 has banned more than 713 books. And, I thought, well, Florida's going to be number 2. I was wrong. Pennsylvania is number 2. Which, at first I was like, no! Because if you don't know it, I'm originally from Pennsylvania. But then as I thought about it, Pennsylvania, you've got Philadelphia, you've got Pittsburgh, and then the hinterlands in between. And guess where all the book banning is happening in Pennsylvania. My own town that I graduated from flirted with a book banning. Didn't happen, but Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, there was, of course, a church in town that didn't like it. So, anyway, I'll delve more deeply into that when I get that driving video done. But, to round out this top 10, and again, read the link for yourself. Florida was number 3, so I wasn't too far off. Oklahoma, a distant 4th. I'll be honest, Florida was a distant 3rd. Even Pennsylvania was nowhere near Texas, so I guess in Texas they don't like you thinking for yourself or getting information. Kansas, Indiana, Tennessee. I thought Tennessee would be further up there. I was surprised Kentucky wasn't on this list at all. Virginia, Missouri, Georgia, New York, and Utah was not a surprise. New York was a little bit of a surprise, but New York's kind of like Philadelphia. You've got certain parts, and then you've kind of got the hinterlands. So, I'm not laughing because I live in the hinterlands of the United States. So I'm allowed to call them the hinterlands of those states. But anyway, it was just kind of a depressing and interesting. Texas was 713 banned books as of March 31st, 2022. So, why do you ban a book? Obviously there's something in it you object to. Sex. Right now, the common theme seems to be either gay stuff or racial stuff. That's why we're going to ban books. At one time, maybe evolution, religious reasons. Religion actually is behind a lot of it. But here's the problem. When you start banning books, you're not just saying, I choose not to read it. I chose not to watch Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ. Because I can't stand watching people being tortured. I chose that for myself. I am not going to say, not only can I not watch it, neither can you or your kids. We're going to ban it from the movie theater. We're going to ban it from the local video rental, although I guess you can't do that anymore because it's all online. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say, I choose not to do it for myself. And if I had kids, I wouldn't be renting it for them. And honestly, I think that there is, for that kind of extreme torture, there's definitely a age limit. But that's one of those that, as a parent, you decide, oh, yeah, my kid is definitely not ready for this. Or, oh, yeah, my kid, they're mature enough to handle it, and we'll talk about it afterwards. Not this, no, you can't read it because I don't want you to. I don't want your kid to read it. That's my problem with book banning. There is a whole process for deciding whether books are suitable at certain age groups or not. But nope, we're just going to set that to the side and play politics, because that's what's behind a lot of it, is culture war stuff, and we're going to get the libs. And, fun fact, a few of the books that are on the banned book lists, because I put several links down there, it's not the right wing wanting them banned. So, there is guilt on both sides there, but I will say that the current fad for book banning is mostly a right-wing phenomenon. And I can't think of a book I would ban. Hitler's Mein Kampf, I would not ban that. It gives you an insight into how he thinks, what incited a world war. I think that's worth reading. I have not read the whole thing. I couldn't stomach it. Again, I've read parts of it. Worth reading to know. And like I said, I just couldn't stomach the whole thing. I don't... Okay, I'll have my thoughts all written out when I do the driving video on this, but the important thing is I am not a fan of banning books. I think more information is good. I think sometimes, as a parent, you need to step back and say, okay, my kid is an autonomous individual, and part of being a parent is stepping back more and more and letting them make their own decisions, their own choices, find out more about themselves. Maybe they're going to read things you don't like them reading, and you just realize that that's part of them being an individual. You don't ban it. You say, oh, you want to read the God Delusion, even though we're an evangelical family? Go for it. Maybe we can talk about it after you've read it. Maybe it's a kid who's questioning their sexuality and just like, I don't want to talk to anybody because I'm freaked out by this and I don't know how to deal with it and I don't know who's safe or what to do. Library can be a wonderful escape, a way to find out information that may be hidden from you or you just are not able to access. So, and it's just sad that we have these politicians jumping into it. And again, not just, I don't want my kid reading the Bible. I don't want your kid reading it either. We can play this game with any book. The Bible's a pretty awful book if you actually read it. You want some graphic sex? You want to hear about testicles as big as donkey balls? Read the Bible. It's in there. Incest. The good man that was saved from Sodom and Gomorrah ended up having sex with both of his daughters just like a chapter or two later. So, it's out there. And I don't think we do a service by sheltering people from it, our kids from it. It's better to encounter some of this racism and different cultures, different sexual orientations, different races. Maybe it's better to encounter it in a book before encountering it in the real world. Just a thought. So, yeah, I'm anti-book burning. And one of these days, I will get to the Minot area. I don't know when it'll be, but I will get to that area. And I'm going to visit Drake, North Dakota, because North Dakota has its own story of book burning in Drake, North Dakota. Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse-5. So I've got the notes and everything ready. I just need to get to Drake. I will probably need to rent a car and maybe wear glasses with a funny mustache so nobody knows who I am and I can go incognito in Drake. But, it's... we have that impulse when an idea is uncomfortable, and that's what books should be doing, is helping us confront uncomfortable ideas and think, oh, it's not as black and white or as simple as I thought. Or, oh, that's how they think. Boy, they're really wrong. I just thought they were confused before. Now I know they're wrong. Or maybe it's, oh, maybe I'm wrong. You don't know till you play with other ideas, and people don't like that. It's uncomfortable, and it's more uncomfortable when your kid starts thinking for themselves. Even though that should be your goal, is to have an autonomous adult that thinks for themselves, even when you disagree. So one of the things I'm lucky with, when I was a kid, I pretty much read whatever I wanted at the library. I got the occasional, maybe you should not just read science fiction, but I read a lot more than science fiction. I remember reading a James Bond, getting some very graphic sex out of that. There is so much. And it's really sad when we actually have especially the party that calls itself the Party of Small Government, limiting ideas, limiting books, limiting access to them. Ooh, thunder. Microphone probably didn't pick that up because it's kind of far away, but anyway, I'm going to close here because I'm getting tired, but I have been working on a video where I'll delve into it long form and have a lot more links and citations and so on. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching. And if videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And feel free to leave a comment down below about the book bannings. Maybe you want to talk about my car. Maybe, why did I skip so many weeks in a row? I don't know. So feel free to leave a comment down below. So I'll thank you for watching. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.